there everyone, Stormy Strike here. Now I finally have the chance to do this proper new video on Spirit Writing Free that I've been meaning to do. So there's a lot I want to cover in this video. First off, I wanted to say that in the previous video I did about the leaked Spirit Writing Free trailer, I had talked about how the show was going to be on the Disney Channel or associated with Disney in some way. Well, that turns out to not be true at all. It was just that whoever uploaded a recording of the trailer before, they had just tacked that Disney Channel thing on at the end of the video, and they made it seem like it was on the Disney Channel or a Disney Channel commercial or something, but it is in fact not. So I just wanted to clear that up before there is any further confusion about that. As far as I know, there is no association of Disney Channel and Spirit Writing Free. Secondly, I wanted to announce that it has been confirmed by the Spirit Writing Free executive producer, Ari Wellington, that this new spirit is in fact Spirit and Rain's son. I'm not really sure how that lines up with the timeline of the original movie and this new show, considering that Spirit Stein the Cimarron is set in the 1800s, and Spirit Writing Free is set supposedly in more modern times, I think. And considering that the average wild horse's lifespan is only about 20 years, it shouldn't take too much math to realize what the problem with that is. Unless the show is set 15 to 20 years after Spirit Stein the Cimarron, but that also feels like it doesn't make sense with how some of the characters' costumes are, because I'm really seeing a mixture of modern and not so modern clothing. I really don't know how in the world that is supposed to make any sense. Okay, so the timeline doesn't really match up at all with this show and Spirit Stein the Cimarron. But at least we can be rest assured that this isn't the original Spirit, that they didn't just suddenly decide to change how he looked and what his life story is. He is in fact supposed to be Spirit and Rain's son, sorta. Some more information on the show. As announced in my last video about Spirit Writing Free and by DreamWorks, the show will be airing on May 5th on Netflix. It's also been announced that there will be 6 22-minute episodes, which means that this show would be considered a half-hour show if it aired on television, adjusted for commercial time. I'm assuming there will only be 6 episodes to start off with, because they are going to be testing the waters of how well this show will do before they put too much time, money, and effort into it, which is not an uncommon thing for studios to do. And some even more information about the show in general. So the story apparently is that the main character, Lucky, lost her mother, her father remarried, and now they're moving from the city to the country. I feel like I've heard these tropes in a lot of movies before. Yes, I'm afraid to say it, but it feels rather cliche of most children's movies or horse movies. I know the logic behind these kinds of tropes as I've been studying characters and storytelling over the past couple years, but it still does get a little too old after a while. The whole girl finding an untamable wild horse, but is like the chosen one to ride it, but yeah, she's never actually really ridden horses before, is also an aspect that just feels too common in a lot of horse movies. Now I know it's getting harder and harder for writers to do original content, believe me, I know, but it would be nice if they could come up with something a little different. Next, I want to briefly bring up that the Breyer Horses website has been updated to show a little banner and page about Spirit Writing Free, although they have not yet released the official photos of the toys and merchandise on their website yet. Alright, now for this last part of the video, I'd like to go through the Spirit Writing Free trailer bit by bit to talk about what's going on in it and my own personal thoughts and opinions about it. And let me also say that I'm currently a junior in college studying film, and when you've been studying film for a while, you start noticing a ton of things you never even thought about before, and you can't really ever watch movies or TV the same way ever again. I bring that up in case anything that I mention about what I notice in this trailer seems like something kind of odd to talk about, or I notice something that may not seem really important or noticeable or anything like that. That's because I've been dissecting films left and right these past couple of years, and it becomes something that's really hard to turn off. So I just thought I should mention that. final disclaimer is you may notice that the images I'll be putting on the screen are not exactly the same as the trailer, and there's a reason for that. But I'm not going to be diving into explaining it right now, so just don't worry about that. Now let's dive into this trailer. It begins with the Netflix and DreamWorks logos and a voiceover by Lucky. Then there's a shot of the train and then Lucky and her family inside the train. When they get a close-up of a picture of Lucky with who we can deduct from her voiceover are her friends from the city that she's not going to be seeing anymore. Therefore, it is implied that she has to find a way to make new friends at this new town. Oh, the cliches. Then Lucky runs to the back of the train and we get a nice shot of the train tracks and the wilderness, which looks, okay? Yeah, it looks okay. I'm not super thrilled by the art of this show and the production design, but I also don't super dislike it. It's just whatever. I don't know. Then we get to see shots of wild horses, including Spirit, running along with the train. Then Lucky reaches out towards Spirit's mane to almost touch him, and I find this scene kind of weird. It does just seem a little silly to me, but maybe the scene in the actual show is better because we have to remember this is just the trailer, which I'm sure is cut quite differently from the show. Then we get a nice establishing shot of the train and the little town they're staying in. And let me emphasize, little. There's seriously only 20 buildings for the whole town, which, according to the next part of the trailer by her father, the town is called Marindel or something like that. And so we get a short little scene with Lucky and her family coming into the town, and her stepmother obviously looks like she does not like it there. But then we get a really cute shot of Boomerang in the little corral or something, and he is just so freaking adorable. Why is this horse so adorable? Seriously, why? Chica Linda is also in part of the shot, but she doesn't seem nearly as adorable to me as Boomerang is. Then we get text on the screen saying things like "this spring." Then there's a scene of Lucky's stepmother wanting her to wear a pink dress even though she doesn't want to. I'm not really sure why Lucky hates this dress so much. I don't really see how it's that bad. I think it's actually kind of cute in a way because it reminds me of pink teacups, but that's just me. Lucky then goes over to Spirit in the corral, who must have just been somehow recently captured, and even though this Spirit doesn't look as great as the original one, I think he's still pretty cute. As for their interaction, it seems like Spirit isn't afraid of Lucky at all. I would think that maybe he would be more scared since, it seems like humans just took him away from his home and all, but I guess Lucky is the chosen one or something, so he's cool with it? I have no idea. She then feeds him an apple, which he just swallows whole practically, and then he steals her sandwich. That is actually fairly realistic. I know horses that have eaten people's sandwiches before. Then, based on the father's voiceover with the shots of Lucky holding up a picture of a circus woman on a horse, I'm guessing that might be who her mother was. I'm guessing her mother is the woman that's on the circus horse and doing circusy things. Then Lucky and her father are sitting on the bed and he says, "I need you to be brave like your mother was." Oh my god. I'm sorry, but that just sounds so cliche. I feel like I've heard that many times before in other horse movies and kids shows. Then we see Lucky open the front door to Prue and Abigail, who I'm assuming are the only other horse girls in town, or only other girls in town at all, considering how small that town was that they showed in the establishing shot. Then Lucky says that she's never ridden a horse before. Of course she hasn't. But, she just jumps onto Spirit's back and starts riding him, even though he's probably never been ridden before. Don't try that at home, kids. Spirit then races off with Lucky on his back. And then we get a montage of the girls riding and doing adventure-y things. And riding and jumping and hugging and all of that. There's also a pretty cool shot of Lucky riding Spirit that's backlit and just looks really nice. Good job, lighting department. Then they're riding through a canyon with falling rocks and such, and explosions and bears and more jumping and almost riding off a cliff. There's also some lyric music playing at this part of the trailer, and it sounds okay. Nothing, of course, like the original Spirit Stein the Cimarron music, but I mean, like, for little kids and stuff, it's not too bad. And then it shows the logo on the screen saying Spirit Riding Free, and lastly it shows Lucky getting on Spirit and they ride off together, followed by the Netflix logo again. And then there you have it. That was the official trailer for Spirit Riding Free. So overall, I think the series looks okay. Nothing really great or groundbreaking. It still reminds me a lot of shows like Horseland. The animation is okay. I don't love it, yet I don't necessarily hate it either. The show is going to be just what it is, a fairly low-budget horse show for kids. I do think it might be kind of cute. I'm curious to see what it will be like. I will watch all the episodes on May 5th when it comes out, and then I'll do a full review video on it. My question now for you guys is, what do you think about the trailer for Spirit Riding Free? Did it meet your expectations or not? Let me know down in the comment section down below. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you have a wonderful day, and I will see you in the next video. Bye everyone!